Hi, hello everyone, it's Femula Pastor again, and today we are going to be looking at how to prepare your CV for the application. It's very important, it's one of the most important aspects of the application, so see you soon. Hello everyone, I'm Oyenekondo Ofemi, and today I'll be taking us through a journey on how to prepare your CV for academic scholarship application. Though our focus has been on the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship Program, however, these tips and insights would be useful for other scholarship applications too, including PhD positions. First, your academic CV is the voice that speaks your achievements. Therefore, use it well. Now, generally talking about CVs, we have different formats, and there is no general rule on how to structure your CVs, because I've seen lots of CVs, and while I was preparing my application, I saw different samples, and even I've been in my program for like 1 year now, and I've found different CV structures. I've reviewed some CVs in the last application cycle, so I've been able to deduce that there is this similarities in all of those award-winning CVs that I've seen. So generally, they usually have the educational background, where you talk about your certifications as far as your degree is concerned, your bachelor's degree, your master's, in case you have a master's degree. So you just state them, though I'm still going to show us some samples in the subsequent slides, but this is where you talk about, sometimes some people might talk about other certification that they've gotten, especially online certifications, and why some will create a different section for that. So generally you talk about your education background. It's just short details. You don't have to go like so deep into it. It is not an essay. It is just a bullet point. You just state it and let them say that, okay, you've schooled in this place between a particular period of time. So basically, this is what the educational background is all about. So it's not necessary that you put your class of degree in your CV. It is not necessary. You can add it if you want, but I used to also say this, that most times, if it is not the first class, it won't be necessary for you to include it. But generally, most of the CVs I've seen, they don't include it in the CV. So also you can talk about your academic publications. Yeah, this is also very relevant. Academic publications. And how do you get academic publications? Probably maybe during your first degree, your project was published, so you can include this in your publications. Or probably maybe after your first degree, you were involved in some academic research, or even during your undergraduate studies, you might probably work with a lecturer working on a particular project. Maybe you helped in one or two things, and when they are doing the publishing of the paper, your name was included as part of the authors, like co-author. So it would be nice if you can include this in your CV. And sometimes, though, okay, I would still talk about that later. Also, you can also create a section for your research and teaching experiences. This is also very important. Work experiences, like the general work experiences where you have worked, and in this section it might be important for you to state the things you did. And it's not like you're going to write like a long story, or you're going to write like long sentences. You can just state it like briefly, that okay, participated in this and that, participated in this and that. You don't have to explain the details of what you did. It's the activities that really matters. And Also, you should also try to state the skills that you've acquired that you think are relevant to the scope of the application. And this is why you need to do a background study, a background check of the program in order for you to know what the program entails, what are the kind of skills that they would appreciate. Because these people that are reviewing your application, they are also in the program, they are professors in the program, so they know what skills is relevant to the program. So if you can demonstrate that you've been able to, acquire these skills during your course of study, your previous study or work, it really gives you a very good chance. And also, you have to also pitch yourself. You need to state the awards you've received. Maybe you've received a scholarship in the past, or maybe you've gotten or any kind of award that you think will demonstrate that will demonstrate your quality. So you need to include it in those sections, and also your volunteering activities too. You can just state them, in your CV. But if you feel your volunteering activity is not really, sometimes you just have to add some of those things. That is, if you have probably space, you can probably add volunteering activities, because some people don't add it in their applications, but it is not it is important, but not very, very compulsory. Now, going further, let's look at what to do. Now, for someone who wants to create an academic CV for Erasmus applications or for other scholarship applications, the first thing you need to do is to sit down to do a thorough research. And what or why this research? The essence of this research is, you need to know what the scope of the program is, because you must be able to answer this question. You need to know what the scope of the program is, because that would guide you in knowing the areas that you need to probably magnify in your CV, to know the areas, to know the things that will be relevant, and those things that will not be relevant. This will give you a scope of what you need. So you can get some of this information from the official website of the program, and sometimes you could even get some silent details or information from their social media pages. So don't overlook those areas. You can even go to their YouTube channel if they have one. You might get some insight about the program, more insight about the program that even the official websites might not provide. So this will help you to be able to get some ideas, and it will also help you to structure your ideas. And it's important to write your ideas down. While you are doing your research, you should be able to write down some ideas that comes to your mind, that okay, I think I have experience in something that is related to what I just discovered about the program. So you begin to write those things out, and they will be like the first set of things you will include in your CV, because you from that research you will be able to know that okay, these things are really relevant, or they are very, very relevant and important as far as this program is concerned. So it helps you to be able to know the most important things, and to help you to set your priorities right when you are creating your CV. So let's look at some samples of some CVs. And first, I need to say this. It is not a bad idea if you look at other people's CV to give you an idea of how to structure yours. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. You can get insights from just looking at how someone has structured their CV. Now, for instance, if you look at this CV, this is an award-winning CV, because this person is an Erasmus scholar. So I just have to erase some of the sensitive information. So, but however, this as some of it's just a sample. It's just to give you an idea of what an award-winning scholarship CV might look like or looks like. So, like this person has the education and training section, where what he wrote there is BSc in biochemistry, second class upper honor, and from the university and the period. And he also went to another section where he talked about his research experience. So you can see some of this information. And going further, it's still the same CV. He created another section where he talked about his professional work experience, and some of the activities that he engaged in and some of the skills that he gained during those activities. Then another section for personal development and training, academic posters and conference attended. You can see all of this. And also professional affiliation and membership, leadership activities, community stroke extracurriculum activities. So you can see that all of this is not, it's not a general rule. You don't have to create your CV this way, but this gives you an idea of what you can do and how it can be done. So you don't have to copy this person's structure, but it helps you to be able to like create your own structure. So now I want to talk about some things. For instance, you might be overwhelmed by the quality of details you find here, talking about academic poster and conference attended. You might be worried and you might be like, oh, during my undergraduate studies, I was not opportune to attend conferences and all of this. So how can I make up for this? Yeah, we are still going to talk more about some of these things in our subsequent videos. Even talking about professional affiliation and membership. You might be wondering that how am I going to be able to join some organizations? Is it free? Do I need to pay? How long does it take? So this is why I usually emphasize that for you to put in a good application, you must start preparing at least 6 months from time, because this will help you to be able to fine-tune areas that you need to strengthen your applications on. Because even creating your CV alone to make sure that your CV is what you want it to look like, it can take you more than 6 months to be able to get all those things in order. So I'm still going to talk about how you can apply, how you can be a member of a professional member of some organization like an affiliation, just like an affiliate member and all of that. And these things are always, they give your CV more integrity, they give it more quality, it gives you this competitive edge. So these are some of the things, and the reason why I'm showing you these samples is to let you know the areas in which you need to strengthen your CV. Some people, when they send their CV to me and I look at it and I send them like maybe like a sample, in fact without even saying anything, I get a feedback like, oh, I think I still have a long way to go from seeing the sample you sent. I need to do this, I need to do that. So it's just to make you know that okay, there's more to do. So that is why we are showing you these samples. Now the sample B is a bit simpler, like in terms of the structure, but it's still an award-winning CV. So, but before then, always remember that plagiarism is a serious offense. Do not copy, paste, and use the content in another person's CV. Please, this is a very important information to note. So this is another CV, and you can see that this has a career objective, which was not in the sample A. So sometimes you just have to do something that you feel is, I won't say appealing to you, but sometimes you just have to make an hybrid. What I mean by hybrid is that sometimes you need ideas from different people in order to like make an hybrid. That is, you pick idea from here, you pick idea from here, you pick idea from here, and you from those ideas you can structure what you want based on the objective of the CV you want to create, because you know what you want. So it's about you sitting down and creating what you want. So this has education and training, and under the education and training section, we also have the online certificate courses listed under the education and training. But in the previous sample, the online certification courses there was a section created for that. So there are different ways of doing this. It depends on what you want. Just make sure that your CV is looking appealing to the eyes. And still on this sample, we have a publication, professional affiliation, stroke membership, conference, then work experience. And it also has personal skills and competency, talking about, it's broken down into 3: professional skills, digital skills, technical skills. So as well as volunteering. So this is just all on the second sample. So this looks a bit simpler. It's just like 2 pages, while the other one is about 3 to 4 pages. So yeah, it depends on, sometimes it can be simple and it will still carry the message that it's ought to convey. So finally, these are some of the things I would recommend that you don't do when you are creating your CV. Do not exceed the page count if clearly stated in the application. Some applications will tell you that make sure your CV is between maybe 2 to 4 pages. So in that situation, you try not to exceed the number of pages. Please do not exceed the number of pages, because exceeding the number of pages means you will be out of the applications, the selection procedure, because you did not follow the instruction. So if you have a lot of things to write, and this is why it's always good to plan, try as much as you can to write the most relevant things. If you still have more space, maybe if the scope is for you to write 2 pages, or maybe you are asked not to exceed 3 pages or 2 pages, make sure the 2 pages capture the most relevant things. So if you still have more space, then you can now add more information that you feel okay would probably support your achievements and all of that. But the most relevant should be seen first. They should come first before the maybe less relevant things. So you have to have a priority for this. And also, do not copy another person's CV. You can take clue from the structure, but not the contents. And remember that your CV is not an essay. Therefore, you are not expected to explain things. And I have spoken about this before. So this is all I'm going to share with us as far as making or creating your CV is concerned. And if you have questions, you can send an email to me. I'll try as much as I can to respond to your questions. So please, and you have work to do, because you need to, it's your responsibility to sit down to research. And also, I also want to add this important information. Please try as much as you can to have um, your CV, like have your CV in Word form, because for every application there might be need for you to make some adjustment to your CV. This is very, very important. Don't use the same CV for all your applications, because all the programs you are applying for, there might be they might be similar, but sometimes they might have different scope. So try to align your CV to meet with the scope and the objective of the program you are applying for. It might not be entirely the same, but it should not be um, entirely out of points or out of the way, or let me use the right word, irrelevant. If, for instance, you study accounting, and your work experience and everything you have done has to do with accounting, and you are using the CV that you use probably in applying for maybe an accounting position or so in let's say in environmental science, it is irrelevant. So it's always important that whenever you are making applications, try to sit down for every application you are doing. Check your CV. Do I need to adjust anything? Do I need to change anything? Do I need to modify something? Probably something might be relevant for a particular application and it will be relevant for another application. So make sure you always review your CV every time you are making a new application. So thank you very much for your attention.